in a lot of ways, with the exception of possible Doctor Strange, a lot of the upcoming MCU projects, the D Plus series, sound more better than the films. So, certainly, I'm looking forward to Winter Soldier and the Falcon, and that looks to be interesting. And the Wanda thing looks kind of interesting too. So all that would be cool. Here is something that I really would like. I've always liked Moon Knight as an interesting character, a bit of a Batman knockoff, but he's got his own weird story. So now it's moving forward. It's been rumored for a very long time about doing a series on Moon Knight, and now it seems to be underway with Oscar Isaac's Poe Dameron. Yeah, well, we might as well forget that role. It's not his fault. But here, this might do him better as Moon Knight. So he's been cast, and they've got their director now. Apparently an Egyptian filmmaker named Mohammed Diab, I guess, or Diab, has been tapped to direct the series. Now, maybe they went with him to have a better understanding of the surroundings of where the origins of Moon Knight takes place in the tomb, or a tomb dedicated, I suppose, to the Egyptian deity of Khonshu, and Moon Knight becomes convinced that this deity brought him back from the dead when he was dying as a mercenary out there. So the interesting thing about him is that he doesn't have just one alter ego, he has three, and then this delves into him having a multiple personality disorder. So his basic name is Mark Spector, who becomes a mercenary. He has an alter ego of a cab driver named Jake Lockley, and millionaire playboy Stephen Grant. So that's his Bruce Wayne, but it's not real. And he also has an Alfred, but it's a French guy who he lovingly refers to as Frenchie. So, and then a while back they made him gay, even though he wasn't. But you know, it's what you got to do these days. So I guess I'm sure he'll be gay in this version too. So the show, I guess, is the head writer, showrunner. Okay, Jeremy Slater will be the showrunner. Best thing going for him, I guess, would be the Umbrella Academy, which I still haven't seen. And the way things are going with Netflix, maybe I never will. Fantastic Four, oh boy. Lazarus Project I didn't see, and the Exorcist TV series I didn't see that either. So don't know if any of that was any good. But yeah, this looks. I'm pumped for that. A Moon Knight series done right, and it's one of those things. If they keep it in similar, like they did with Netflix's Daredevil, which was the best of those shows, and something like that, which also speaks to what the hell is going on. Why can't we get a Batman show? And you could even do it on the cheap, and it could be good. But yeah, I guess Marvel's going to beat them to that with this. I don't know. So anyway, here you go. If you're not familiar with Moon Knight, I do recommend a lot of the different comics. There was an attempt to bring him back several times over. They were interesting, but they ended up being very repetitive. Warren Ellis brought him back and even introduced another alter ego, another superhero alter ego, that being Mr. Knight, where he basically kind of looked like a take on Rorschach, if you will, where he wore a white business suit and just a simple mask and with a little crescent emblem on the forehead, and that was it, you know. And that was interesting too, but it kind of just delved into, is it a dream or isn't it, that type of thing. And you know, the art was interesting, looked good, but yeah. Then there was a follow-up, but the guy writing it was a complete a psychopath, and I just couldn't bring myself to keep reading it. So that's that for the comic books. But anyway, so born to a respectable family but eschewing its history and beliefs, Mark Spector cut his own path through life by becoming a boxer, a Marine, and finally a CIA operative. Disgusted by the organization's practices and hurt by his own brother Randall's betrayal, Spector ejected? You mean rejected? Whatever morals he still possessed, and fell into mercenary work around the globe. During this dark time, he made friends with John Paul Frenchy Duchamp. That's his Alfred. One of the only bright spots in the violent profession of a hired gun. Tired of overthrowing governments and assassinations, Spectre entered into the orbit of an extreme terrorist named Bushman, who turned on him and left him to die in the harsh Egyptian desert. Somehow, the mercenary made it to a nearby ancient tomb and into the hands of Marlene Allerin. I never could remember how to say it. Anyway, that's his main squeeze. Yeah. Anyway, the daughter of an archaeologist murdered by Bushman. Near dead, Spectre rose up to find a statue of the Egyptian deity Khonshu looming over him and believed to have saved his life. He proceeded to smash Bushman's operation with Frenchy's help and later realized he'd gained a new outlook on life. Spectre returned to the United States with his friends and set about creating not only costume identity he dubbed Moon Knight, but two other personalities to aid him in his war on crime. Millionaire Stephen Grant and cab driver Jake Lachlan, with Frenchy as his pilot. Moon Knight began to make an impression on the rest of New York City's heroes. Mark Spector's CIA career. Okay, you get the point. You can read the. So, but that's the kind of the setup. Some fan photoshopped Oscar Isaac in this outfit, what it may or may not look like. Yeah, maybe with stars wanting their face to be seen, but for the most part, Moon Knight has a full face mask and you don't see his face under the hood. But yeah, it probably looks something like that. So yeah, and Bushman is kind of his main arch enemy. I think he had another enemy named Midnight or something like that. Not a very colorful rogues gallery like Batman has, or even Spider-Man, but yeah, they could work on that for the series, I guess. So, but Moon Knight in and of himself is an interesting character with his multiple personality disorder playing in. But if they do it where there's just a bunch of keep you guessing with a bunch of surrealistic nonsense that gets repetitive, it'll sink the show. So hopefully some of those elements can give it a little spice, but ultimately you got to have him get in some action and all that stuff. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Alright, thank you for watching and listening. Why not like and subscribe and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. You know, hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.